Hello again, YouTube. This is the Truth Man, and we finna get into some things. I want to talk about what it means for a woman to be a helper, because I keep hearing all these women on YouTube talking about finding a man, wanting to get married and stuff like that. But what they think marriage has been orchestrated by the Most High God is something totally different from what women think. And what women think is going to become a problem sooner or later. So let's look at this definition of
help.
It says make it easier for someone to do something by offering one services or resources. We finna talk about this, and I ain't gonna even be long. Now y'all see the definition, right? Now, I could look it up in the Hebrew, and I could show you the same thing. What did Adam receive Eve to do? Matter of fact, let's look at something else. Let's look at the definition of companion. Let's see what a companion is. Companion. Oh, he let me go. Wait, hold on. Give me a second. This car letting me go. I was in the parking lot. So, now it's a red light. Definition of a companion. Okay, what companionship is coming up? Let's go to
Companionship.
A feeling of fellowship or friendship. So, based on the definitions of what these things are, what a woman's job is to provide one's services to someone. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna have to look up that definition again. Wait, just give me a second. We'll talk about it. Trying to watch these cars. So, when he says help, and when he says helper, and when he says companionship, let's look at, shall we, what the Bible is telling you women to do. Because I know y'all don't want to look undesired. Y'all don't want to be single. But y'all got to get y'all heads right, or you just going to end up back in the same state, being by yourself. You don't get your mind right and realize what your role is. And most of these guys, I got the confidence. I believe that most men will stay with a woman that does what she's supposed to do. Now, let's get into some things I heard another YouTuber say that I kind of agree with. Listen, man, this ain't no competition between the pills. You know what I mean? This ain't no competition between the pills. We all are contributing to what guys is learning in this space. But some guys is getting a little aggressive, and they trying to make it like it's a competition. This ain't no competition, man. We supposed to be trying to improve things for us as a whole. You know? Like, well, I'm superior to you. No, you not. And matter of fact, let's go here. All these guys acting like they undebatable. Listen, man. Hey, I do this debating stuff, man. I can debate any subject. I'm not gonna even, as good as I am at debate, I'm not gonna sit up here and say that I'm undebatable. Because I think I'm one of the best at debating, if not the best. But I'm not going to sit up here and say that I'm undebatable. See, now I get it, man. This is a business for some people. People making a lot of money on YouTube. But it's not a me against you thing. You know, the times I tried to make stuff me against you, and come to find out that you basically would be taking up for people that don't care nothing for you, supporting people that don't care nothing for you. So I don't want it to be a me against you thing. If I say something that I'm wrong about, correct me. Because if you say something you wrong about, I'm gonna correct you. That's how it is. I'm not gonna come out here. Oh well, I could be like, okay, you say that you're superior, but you never been married before. So there's an aspect of this relationship stuff that some of these guys have never experienced. So just realize that we all contributing to this space, and we all can be corrected. So don't come on here like you can't be corrected, like you invincible or something in regards to this talk, especially if you ain't never been married before. It's not even about that, man. You ain't experienced the most challenging aspect of relationships. But anyway, back to this, because what my goal is to help the stubborn people too. Like you saying, man, I ain't trying to hear nothing. I'm finna do this. I'm gonna show you, and hopefully I can help your wife to be, if she can receive correction. See, a lot of these women too, they don't want nobody telling them nothing. They just want you to raise them up, treat them like they're a goddess, but don't tell them nothing. That ain't the way it go. So let's go back to these definitions. Let's go back to help. Because I don't think y'all understand what this means. And if it was just about sex, okay, then why as the years go by, y'all have less and less? See, this is what they do. Women who don't understand their role, they always want to focus on what you're supposed to do, but they're not doing what they're supposed to do. You know, because the world, people could say, well, I think for myself, I'm not being brainwashed. But all of us have been brainwashed at least a little bit by what we see and what we hear in the United States and the rest of the world. So the definition of help, let's go back to it.
Help.
Make it easier for someone to do something by offering one services or resources. Well, I had kids. I take care of these kids. We both had these kids. It's more to it than that. They'll say, I take care of these kids. It's more to it than that. Let's read it again.
Help.
Make it easier for someone to do something by offering one's services or resources. Or I'm going to add both. So when you a helpmeet, that means that you supposed to make it easier for him, not harder. Not harder. He got to come home and argue with you. You draining his energy. He late to work. He late to his business. Because you arguing over something that you really should have just left alone. You know, woman, you're not, I don't care. There's not a woman alive that's in a man's life to nag him and to argue with him. If you're not going to help him, you shouldn't be saying nothing. You should be helping him. Oh, he having a money problem. He a man. He's supposed to get through it. What's your job? So you telling me there's nothing at all you could have did to help him financially? Well, he's supposed to be a man. He's supposed to take care of, provide, and protect. Yeah, he is. But guess what? Life happens. And guess what you're supposed to do when life happens? Help. See, y'all watch them celebrities so much, man, that y'all try to compare y'all lives to theirs. An everyday working class family is going to be different than celebrities. So in an everyday working class family, when things start breaking down financially, what's supposed to happen? Some of y'all women, you can't even go to work without being in guys' faces. You ain't there to be in their face. You ain't there to be friends with no guys. You ain't there. If you married and you working, you're there to provide. Let's go back to it. You're there to provide.
Help.
Instead, they go home and they become more critical of the guy they're with because the guys that they work with is feeding them lies and bullcrap. So then you break up with the guy at home. Now the guys at work don't like you. They done already had you. They don't want you. You left that dude that was down for you enough to commit to you for some dudes at work. They all done got you. Now they don't want you no more. And you trying to make him look like he a bad guy because he saw it and moved around. Your job ain't to lead men. Your job ain't to have men submit to you. Your job is to submit to men. And I know people be on YouTube talking about that submission too. And I get what some of them are saying. I do. 'Cause I hear a lot of different viewpoints. But what I agree with is if a woman is a 304, you should hit the door. Like, you don't try to get a woman like that to submit. That's why you got to know everything she did, because even if a lot of guys didn't penetrate her, her body count could still be high if she was kissing on all these different guys, getting humped by all these different guys, getting fingered by all these different guys. That's all body count, man. That's all body count. So you think, well, she ain't go all the way with her. But then you get with somebody that has a high body count in different ways, instead of you trying to figure it all out and be like, okay, well, she did all that stuff. That's body count. So it comes out on you later, just like it would if she was penetrated by a lot of men, because it's all high body count. You don't want to deal with no entitled princess, because you deal with them entitled women, they gonna come in expecting you to do everything, and they might help you in the beginning, but if they entitled, that help gonna slow down or stop. So that's why the Most High said that this is their role from beginning to end, to make it easier for someone to do something by offering one services or resources. Some of these women don't do nothing. They don't have sex with their men. All they do is nag and expect him to do everything. And if they not controlling themselves physically, then over time you're gonna be doing more and more. And this is why you gotta come in kinging, you gotta go out kinging. Y'all dudes want to go out swinging instead of going out kinging. You got a king over them. You got to be like, listen, I made a lot of mistakes. And like I said, some of the things I didn't know came back to hurt me in the end. They did. Because I just didn't know. I didn't know the level of aggressiveness that I had to have to run the household. Nobody ever taught me that. My father ran the household. He wasn't even doing all that. He was more passive, but he was still. We still knew he was the man. I tried that stuff. I learned early on, and it's not gonna work. Not gonna work. Not gonna work. So let's look up companion, and then we're gonna close this out within like a minute. Let's go back to companionship. You gotta know what your role is. You wanna get married, you should be unselfish to the point where you don't just get married to get married. You gotta know what your role is before you have these guys commit to you as a woman. Now, companion is a person or animal with whom one spends a lot of time or with whom one travels. Definition of companionship: a feeling of fellowship or friendship. So these as your roles as a woman. So this shows you're not there to nag him. You're not there to argue. What would help do? He throws some socks in the middle of the floor. What would a helper do? A helper gonna pick up them socks, right? Now, it's perfectly fine for you if you done picked up his socks a certain number of times to say, hey, when you come home, can you just put your socks in the dirty clothes? Other than, hey, when you come, stop acting like a bum. I'm not your maid. Nah, just ask him, hey, can you put your socks in the dirty clothes? I've been picking up your socks a lot. And even though she's there to pick up his socks, it's nothing wrong with her asking him to put them up himself. But what do? I'm not your maid, all this extra stuff. If he get on your head, all you gonna do is call the police. So why the extra stuff? Know your role. As a woman, you're there to help, be a companion, and be supportive. I've said enough.